Hi, I'm Jim Wild, the Executive Director of the Merrimack Valley Housing Partnership, and we've taped a series of these episodes of smart home buying with the Merrimack Valley Housing Partnership. We conduct the home buyer training classes here in Lowell and have for the last 27 years. And we do the classes in multiple languages. And when people talk about what makes Lowell special, one of the primary reasons given is that there are so many partnerships that take place between organizations and people and throughout the city. And an example of that is for the past 10 years, the Merrimack Valley Housing Partnership has worked very closely with the Cambodian Mutual Assistance Association, CMAA, in order to make homebuyer training classes available to the Khmer-speaking population. And I'm pleased to welcome Sovanna Pouv, who is the Executive Director of CMAA today, as our guest. Welcome, Sovanna.
Hi, Jim. How are you? Thank you for having not just myself, but CMAA as a partner and a guest on the show.
It's great to have you here. One of my favorite things is to work with CMAA and doing these homebuyer training classes. And can you tell us a little bit about the history of CMAA?
Yeah, so CMAA has been around for 35 years now. We've helped settle Cambodian refugees since 1984. Folks that have been traumatized and survived the Vietnam War, especially from the genocide as well. And I think we're living in a city that has amazing programs like this. It really helps us be very thankful for all the opportunities that are in place now. And I'm happy to say that since we've been here, many of us are happy citizens in the city, giving back in many different ways, but also getting engaged with nonprofits like yourself and ours.
In my point of view, from my perspective, it's CMAA's history and contribution to the community is really pretty incredible. And it's so nice to see the evolution of how CMAA has sort of changed its focus from helping refugees to being such an integral part of the community and voter registrations, homebuyer training, all kinds of activities that CMAA plays such a vital role in the quality of the community.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you. And the beauty about this partnership is that we're able to make half of the decisions that you guys make. I think that in order for anyone to make sound decisions in buying a home for the first time, you need to know all the resources and all the options that are available out there. And for us, we are able to outreach and get clients to sign up for the program and have the programs take place at our office. And what you guys bring is the accreditation, the skill sets and the expertise, and also the dashing smile that you have to our partnership. So I really appreciate that. And we have it on Saturday mornings, and I think that is really awesome for people to be so committed to come on Saturday for like 5.5 hours for 2 Saturdays in a row. So that's really great.
I know when you think about a partnership, it really is exactly that. We both bring about 50% of the effort to the table. Yeah. You guys recruit the students, host the event, provide the translation, and we bring the accreditation and the instructors and all of that. So it's really a beautiful partnership. And I also love doing the classes on Saturday mornings because most of our regular homebuyer training classes are weeknights. And so people have worked all day, they're tired, and they're now in class again until 9 at night. But our classes are first thing Saturday mornings when people are fresh and happy and lots of questions, and it's kind of fun.
Yeah, I think that it goes a long way, and it goes so far back that since our partnership, we've been able to help over 780 people. Can you imagine that?
It's amazing.
780 people learning how to buy homes for the first time. That's 52 classes, and that's over 104 Saturdays. That's a lot of Saturdays throughout the many years that we've had together. So thank you for this opportunity.
Well, yeah, when you think about it, we're approaching 800 graduates from our partnership. That's great. Yeah. And the numbers do add up.
Yeah, they do.
You and your wife, Liana, took our homebuyer training class in English a few years ago, and then went on to become a homeowner. And as a matter of fact, 2 years ago, you and Liana graciously told your story to probably about 100 folks at our annual meeting over at the Whistler House, which was a great event. And you told a very personal story about the process of your whole journey of growing up here and eventually becoming a homeowner and being a father. And I think Liana was expecting Eller at that time.
Yes. Yeah, thanks again, Jim, for welcoming Liana and myself to your event 2 years ago to share our story. And yes, Liana was expecting. I shared that news with everybody in the room, so it was an incredible moment. And her and I both believe that having a strong foundation for a family is so important. Whether it's raising your kids to go to a strong school system, whether it's raising life partners to be strong advocates for your community, and whether it's a home for your kids or your parents, I think it's a space for you to have to go back to. We both took your program, we both went through it, and we both had such an amazing experience, because what we both learned from it is that we're able to build a team of people to help us. A team of people that will help us find the right home, the right lender, the right inspector. All those things come with this training, and we can be more thankful for that. So
and then you also worked with our home buyer counselor, Ed Alcantara, right?
Oh, yeah.
On a personal level, getting whatever you needed ready for the mortgage application process.
Well, here's the thing about Ed. So I had
Tough love.
I was so motivated to carry my wife Liana into our brand new home, but Ed's like, no, not yet. Let's wait 6 months and see where we can go from there. So Ed has been a really big force for us in terms of making sure that we're financially ready for the home, but also making sure that we make perfect sense when we go buy the home. He gave us some tips about being landlords as well, and so I might not share some of his secrets here. So that's for you to learn and to find out when you join the class.
Mm-hmm. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Ed's pretty amazing in terms of meeting people individually after the classes and spending a couple of hours and really helping them tune into their own personal situation. Also, I want to just touch on the down payment assistance program. So those are programs that in addition to the good mortgage programs that people getting qualifying, we've had a lot of Cambodian families go through our classes and purchase in Lowell and take advantage of the down payment assistance programs, which is really awesome.
Yeah. I think some folks that sign up for this program did not even know that there was a down payment assistance until they finished the class. Mm-hmm. I think that's a big surprise for them sometimes. And I think what's really cool about that is that they're able to utilize all of the resources that already exist. And how do you really make sure that you look at the process, you apply for it, and you take full advantage of it, and then you become a person that is giving back to the community by buying a permanent home in the city. So I think that's a great process to have. So thank you for offering that as well, and to all the partners out there that provides that service.
It's nice to hear that, because those programs are so labor intensive on our part. There's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes, but nothing is better than helping people get into homes and giving them the leg up that they need.
I agree.
And in just a minute that we have left, Sovanna, can you talk a little bit about any unique challenges that the Cambodian community is facing, or when it comes to home ownership or banking or anything like that?
I think it's an interesting question to ask, because as I'm looking in my home right now where I live, as I'm looking around, as some of the homes are going up for sale, many of the homes are being bought by Cambodian families, and that's a strong positive thing for us to see, especially being in Lowell itself, because Lowell is the second largest Cambodian population in the country, outside Long Beach, California. But I would like to share a challenge that I think affects everybody, and that's the housing market itself. I think that because Lowell is such an exciting city, a lot of things are happening here, whether it's the Lowell Folk Festival, the Southeast Asian Folk Festival, or the Kinetic Sculpture Race.
The Water Festival?
The Water Festival, yeah. So it really has a lot of activity for everybody that from my area, and so I think that attracts people to the city. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think it's great. I think the city is capable and able to welcome as many people as possible. So it's a unique challenge, but I think it's a good thing for the city.
Terrific. Well, thanks so much, Sovanna. Again, it's such a pleasure working with you.
Thank you, Jim.
And I love watching these numbers add up and all these new people becoming homeowners in the city.
Another 800. Here we come.
They vote. They pay taxes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The fact of the matter is, if you can rent, you can own.
The money is going toward me instead of somewhere else, and I'm getting equity, and it's just, the feeling is great just to be a homeowner.
Hello, welcome to Smart Home Buying with Merrimack Valley Housing Partnership. My name is Ed Alcantara. I'm an instructor and a home buyer counselor. Our guest today is Brenda Gould, Executive Director of the Habitat for Humanity of Greater Lowell. Welcome, Brenda.
Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure. We wanted to talk about our collaboration. We've been working with you for many years, and we've helped out many of the programs, many of the folks who've gone through your program. We know the local impact has been felt, and Habitat does great work around the world. To give people an idea, how many homes have been built in Lowell? and
Yeah.
around, I know you've done stuff in Westford.
Right, we do kind of greater Lowell.
Yeah, Greater Lowell.
Yeah, but we've done so far 46 homes in total. 24 of them have been in the city of Lowell, and right now we have 2 under construction in the Belvedere neighborhood. You'll be seeing those families soon.
Oh, great, great.
And then we have 22 others in, I'll just say kind of down Route 2, Route 3, that's kind of our area, northern Middlesex County. So we have 22 others that we built there, of which 3 more will be coming. We'll be starting a home in Billerica, hopefully by Christmas. We're looking for families now.
How would a family get involved or get selected? And what would they have to commit to? I know they have to work, I think, 450 hours.
Right.
But
Yeah.
how do they get into this process where they say, geez, I'd love to get into a Habitat home?
Sure. First of all, our motto is a hand up, not a handout. So a lot of people don't understand that the houses aren't given for free. I mean, we work with you for down payment and closing costs and things like that. The houses aren't for free. They're below cost, they're interest free, and we guarantee that they will be below 30% of their income. And that's their principal payment. They don't have any interest, their insurance, their taxes, and if they're in an HOA or a condo association. And so I'm sure you tell all of your classes that below 30% is kind of where they should be. So in order to get into the home, we'll do an information session to tell people kind of what's different about Habitat, because a lot of people think their name just goes in a lottery and boom, they're picked out and they get the house. But like you mentioned, it's not that way. We go to information sessions, and then people will pre-qualify, and what they need to do is they need to have an ability to pay, because the houses aren't for free.
Right.
And we look for families that are under 60% of the area median income, which for a family of 4 in Lowell is about $50,000, just to give people an idea. So they have to have an ability to pay. They have to be willing to partner with us, which means the sweat equity that you mentioned. They actually have to build their house.
Right.
450 hours if it's a dual income family, 225 if it's single. And they don't have to have any skills. We have licensed people that will teach them what they need to do. And then the last part is they have to be willing to go to financial training, which is where you guys come in.
Right.
It's not just about the down payment assistance, which is a phenomenal program. It's really about learning what they need to do now that they're going to be a homeowner. I know some of your class is before where we get involved, like how to find a house. They've already found the house, but it's kind of about what to do, how to have a budget, what happens when there's a repair that's needed. You don't have a landlord to call anymore.
Right.
So the families have to be willing to put in those 3 pieces: to pay, to do sweat equity, and to go to financial training.
Yeah.
And we go out, we visit the families, not me, I stay totally independent. We have a family selection group. They go out and visit the families. They meet the kids. They meet if there's 2 people involved or 1 person. And then they make a threshold of points. Their name does go into a lottery. We pick it out. Yay, happy homeowners.
Right.
So.
And if they don't get selected, they can put their name for future lotteries.
Oh, yes. We have actually many families that have come 3 times,
3
sometimes
or 4 times,
right.
but they get it.
Because it's, it sounds overwhelming, but really, sometimes it comes down to there's only 10.
Right.
And sometimes we have a duplex, so 2 out of 10,
Right.
It's
Hey, the
still
more
good.
you try, the more chances you're going to have
Yeah.
of getting selected.
And sometimes there's more, sometimes there's less that apply. But it's right now we're going through family selection for a home in Billerica.
What has it meant in terms of helping a Habitat family get into the home or have reserves after the purchase? That down payment does
Oh
bring
yeah,
that component.
it's great. We've started since I've been here. Your program with the city has funded, I think it's nine houses. Yeah, almost $50,000.
Oh, great.
And that started when we did our neighborhood revitalization project down on Rock and Willie Street.
Sure.
That's kind of where we started to get involved. I'm going to say I totally feel that one of the reasons that those families are so successful is because you gave them the start. For a family to have to come up with $4,000 or $5,000 even in a 7 to 9 month period, which is what it takes for us to build a house, sometimes longer, that's a lot of money to come up with, and so they've got that worry off their plate, and it helps them get a start for actually putting money aside.
Right.
And of those, I can say, of those 9 families, right now, everyone is up to date on paying their mortgage.
That's great
which
news.
is, so they got the start from you and from the city, and they put that money aside, and the house is below 30% of their income. We try to keep it even close to 20%, but this has given them an opportunity to get a good start on their house. I can guarantee that the majority of those 9 families would not have been able to buy a house without this program and without this financial training.
Well, we want them to be successful, and that's what we aim to do. And now it's getting even tougher to save money because the rents have gone up. So this is why the down payment is a very good program for anybody who qualifies, because it could save a year of
Right.
savings, a year of your life, just because this is available
Right.
to get in right away. Looking back now, and I know you've accomplished a great deal, you mentioned the education with the budgeting, but what other components do you feel have helped the buyers? They go over we have the attorney come in. I know you have an attorney that does the closings.
Right.
But I mean, the education overall, what's the feedback been by your recipients what do they say about the classes and education?
It's funny because, as we mentioned earlier, not everyone gets the home, okay? But when we talk about the info session, we tell them right up front, you're going to need to go to this class. I'm going to tell you that I think at least another 25 to 30% go to the classes even though they're not going to get the house.
That's great.
They start off thinking they're going to get the house, but they go to the classes. And I think what I've heard back is they'll say things like, I remember that in class. I remember I was supposed to do that. I remember to try to put some money aside, or to, I'm going to have to pay for these few things and remember about it. So
Pay the car off if they have excessive debt, but
Right.
they know what to do now.
Right, and even if it's a little repetitive, so because we make the families, if they went through the class more than I think it's 4 years, we ask them to go through it again because you forget if you're not
Sure.
using it, and they always pick up something else. The other thing that's great about the class is you also have some online options. We don't like them to do that because we prefer them being in a class. You can ask questions, but families are working 2-3 jobs, and so sometimes that's the only way they can do it.
That's fantastic. I'm glad that people are embracing the classes even though they're not getting picked. But
At that
they know what to
particular
do.
time.
Yeah.
But then they'll come to us afterward, like even in this house, and they'll say, I already went to that class.
Sure.
Because I wanted to, because I learned a lot from it.
That
So-
shows a little initiative, right?
Yeah, so I think that's great for all of us.
Now, how can people reach out and volunteer with your organization?
There's a couple ways. The first thing is our website is www.lowellhabitat.org. Then you can sign up and register to volunteer. You can volunteer on a build site, and we do ask the families. It's another point, even before they get chosen, to put in 4 hours on a build site just to kind of get a feel for what it's going to be like. It's not really that scary. It's great, and volunteers love to work side by side with. If they find out who the family is, they love that. So you can go to our website, or you can call us at 978-692-0927. Stop by anytime. Our office is actually on Tadmuck Road in Westford, but you should see us around in the city. We try to be pretty visible.
Yeah.
We are actually looking for property because right now we don't have anything going on in Lowell.
Okay.
And we love, love, love working with the city of Lowell, and we love working with you guys. That program is great. I know we can't use it if we're in another town. I wish other towns had something like that because it really makes it so much easier for these families to be successful, and that's what it's all about. We've had 0 foreclosures. I give you guys the credit for helping us do that. So out of 46 homes, that's
we're a
pretty
good team.
Yeah. So after I learned how to fill out some of the forms,
That's
we were
all right.
good.
That's what we're there for.
Yeah,
We help
you guys
everybody
even
fill out
help
the
fill
forms.
out the forms, so it's great.
Thank you, Brenda, for being our guest. It's been a pleasure, and we'll see you again.
You will very soon because I have 2 more houses coming up. So.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
The actual buying process, which, I'm glad that we took the first time home buyers class because I think the one thing that kind of shocked me, even though I heard it, was like the time it'll take, the heartbreaks you'll feel, and that, you may find your perfect house, but if it slips through, there's still that your perfect house later on, which in our case was what happened. We found a house that we fell in love with, kind of started scrambling getting the stuff done, but unfortunately we're a little too late. and then we kind of almost gave up. I'm sure like a lot of other people, but then we kind of stuck with it. And in hindsight now, it's like I think this house was way better than all the other ones we looked at.
I mean, it's like the process itself that you don't necessarily think that you have to document just about everything. So once we started the process, I feel like the concerns started trickling in. But just being prepared and knowing what it is that you need was very important. We definitely weren't thinking about like buying a house that this is going to be like the final house. That was sort of the first step. So even though initially like we fell in love with one house, we still made this house our, like our dream house. So that worked out.
Okay, so we actually got one of the special loan grants that the city of Lowell offers for first-time home buyers. So on top of the already huge stack, we had a second set of huge stacks to sign. So I know kind of going through it, kind of signing,
With long.
basically, just signing every page, initialing everything. That was kind of like an overwhelming process. But then afterwards, when we got the key, I think the first thing we did was kind of drove over and kind of saw this, that it's yours now and it's ours, and finally something we can call home and come to, and so that was really nice.
It's always exciting. I feel like the move and the ideas that you have in your head of what it is, what goes where, making this space your own, that's the exciting part.
As our guest, we have Germaine Vigeant-Trudel. She is the Assistant Director of the Lowell Development and Financial Corporation here in Lowell, Massachusetts. Welcome, Germaine.
Thank you, Kathy. I'm pleased to be here.
I'm happy you made it here.
Thank
In
you.
the rain, too.
A little dicey today, yes.
Tell us about your role as the Assistant Director and how long have you been with the LDFC?
I've actually been with the LDFC a little over 30 years. I like to joke and say I started when I was 12, but obviously not true. Basically, my role as the Assistant Director is basically I work with the borrowers, whether it be with the borrowers for the down payment assistance, but the LDFC has a lot of other loan programs as well. We do commercial loans, we do a lot of startups with the downtown. We've been working with the university, with borrowers coming out of the incubator, the innovation hub, so different things like that. I tend to work with the borrower from approval right to the closing. So it's interesting. I really enjoy doing that.
Now, what was the local impact? What do you see the visibility? How many homes have been funded with the LDFC down payment assistance?
Well, the down payment assistance program actually started, the first one we did was back in 1992. We were actually approached by two founding members of the board of directors that basically came to us and to tell us that they were starting with this homebuyer training class. And was there something that we could do to help? Because they could see that people were having trouble saving money for a down payment. So the first year we did this, our loan program was actually a little bit different than we have it now. The loans were just due upon sale or transfer of property. Then once we realized that, this was very successful, we went back to those board members and said, our funds are limited. Is there any way we could adjust this? So basically now our program, which has been the same now for the last 20 some odd years, is it's non-interest. We will lend them up to $5,000 for the assistance, and they don't make a payment until after their 5th anniversary of being in the home, which kind of gives them an opportunity to save some more money, because it can be expensive to own your own home. Different things can happen. So it's been a success. We've done 618
Wow.
to date. So,
Wow. What does someone need to do to qualify?
we do have some, the income guidelines, which we go by MHFA guidelines, which they, again, based on the economy and everything, those guidelines have increased. But the number one for us is that they go through your home buying training class. You basically do all the work for us.
Thank
I mean, you do the training, you work with the lenders, you work with the brokers, you work with the borrowers, and you basically provide us with a complete loan application with all the information.
It is a
So
teamwork.
It is,
yeah.
but I mean, the thing is that it gives us that safety net, knowing that these people have gone through the training. I mean, there's been very, very, very few that foreclosed, and I think that probably happened when that was something that was basically going throughout the whole state of Massachusetts, actually probably throughout the country.
Yes. Yeah, in
but-
2008.
Exactly. But since then, people, make their payments, come their 5th anniversary, or if they sell, obviously they pay us back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome. I mean,
So it's a credit. It's a credit to the home buying training. It really, really is.
thank you, Germaine.
But that's what gives us, again,
Thank
like
you.
I say, it gives us comfort.
Looking back now, how has home buyer education provided a long-term benefit for home buyers in Lowell? Well, you kind of touched base on that,
Yeah.
like just the foreclosure,
Close-
how
right.
little.
Right, and I know that a few years ago you actually had an intern from, I believe, UMass Lowell that did some research, and the percent, it was amazing. I think it was house sales since 2000. One amazing note was 1 out of 14 home buyers had gone through your class.
Yes.
That was incredible to find that out. And then the percentage of foreclosures was minimal, and it was well below what the average is for the state of Massachusetts. And again, I think a lot of credit goes, to the training that you provide. Because I think a lot of people really don't realize that, okay, you own a home, besides making your payments, there's a responsibility of, any repairs, anything could happen, which I think why being able to do the assistance and not having to pay back for 5 years also helps.
Helps them
you know?
save,
Exactly.
and have funds in emergency funds like what we teach in the class. You want to make sure that you have savings.
Right.
And it's really, really hard these days, extremely hard for families to save with the student debt, with the prices of rent,
Rents.
all of those things together. I just appreciate you and your team and our partnership, and let's just keep helping home buyers.
Exactly. Well, we appreciate the partnership as well.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, my name is Kathleen Mercado, and I am the project coordinator for Merrimack Valley Housing Partnership. Thank you, Germaine, again for being here with us.
Oh, thank you very much. My pleasure.